In the heart of Bolton, where dreams ignite, young voices rising.
I'm at Anchor Homes in Bolton, Farnworth. It's a property by Anchor Homes. And part of our work is to work out whether, listening to residents, whether their environment, their outside environment, particularly around their bin waste, is causing them any issues. So on this property here, if you look at this, just look at the bins themselves. If you imagine as somebody is a resident in this home, to use these bins, you have to touch these lids. You have to touch this. Everybody has to touch it. Everyone's hands have to touch it. So just have a look at that. And obviously the concern is that these bins haven't been cleaned. So people are touching these bins every day. And it's the same with any of the others. If you look at any of the bins, you can look at where the lids are. You can look at the tops of the bins, the bottom of the bins, and where the lids are. Particularly around the lids, because that's what people are touching. That's what people are touching every day. And then you look on the bin store floor. There's discarded, because there's padlocks on the bins. So if the bins are not open, when somebody comes to use them, things are getting discarded on the floor. And then if you look at the floor itself, now it's a dry day today, but if it's wet, you can see this moss. Now we all know how slippy that gets. What we want to do is we want landlords to take this more seriously and to look at how they can put something in place to make these bin stores more user friendly. You know, we want people to recycle, but actually, if you come to a bin store which is untidy, unkept, if it's dangerous underfoot, if the lids are dirty, generally people either won't use them, don't want to use them, or there is a public health issue. You know, there's a health issue in terms of what people can catch, diseases that people can pick up. People have talked about seeing rats around the area, and it's all those concerns. You know, if we've got older people, vulnerable people, or younger people, it's all those concerns that landlords, in the words of the residents, are not taken seriously. So yeah, that's just another one of our findings, and we'll continue to share some more. Yeah, well, like I say, thanks for spending the time with us and showing us around. But I wanted to ask you, have you experienced any sort of health concerns related to where you live and your surroundings?
Yeah, just depressing, dingy. Yeah, affects your mental health, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. And how do you feel about your surroundings when you walk around this place?
Not proud of it. Not proud of bringing people back here, and proud of where you live, or even proud to say you're from Farnworth anymore, really.
Because of your environment?
Yeah, because of the environment and stuff like that, yeah. So,
what would you say to them? What would you say to the landlord about this place and how it impacts you?
So more could be done. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs doing. Just does lick of paint, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Even all the safety stuff, like all this facial stuff all falling out, and concrete could fall on your head now, injure you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's health concerns and that, you know what I mean?
And if you were giving them any advice about this bin store in particular, what would you say to them?
I'd just say gate it off, maybe, so it's harder to put stuff there, like I suggested, or maybe a different design, or, you know what I mean, give people options to dispose of waste, or
yeah, give them a chance to do it. And what about the cleanliness?
Generally, no, they don't bother. We pay a service charge, but it doesn't get done. They was forced to paint all this fencing and that a couple of years ago. That never got done. So we paid a service charge, but nothing gets done really. Yeah.
So have you seen any like insects or rats or anything like that around here?
I've seen a lot of dead rats. Yeah.
You've seen dead rats, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, at the back, down here and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of cats around here, so I'm guessing the cats get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. Thanks for your time and thanks for your honesty.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
So just repeat some of what you said there, Joanne, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. So they pay service charge on a weekly basis.
Right.
And the council don't clean the paving, they don't cut the bushes down. I mean, that paving's unsafe in certain places. They don't clear the rubbish when people flight it. I mean, that rubbish that's near the bins now, that has been there for nearly 3 months.
Nearly 3 months.
Yeah, and it's not been touched by the council. And they send people out to have a look, but nothing ever gets done. But they pay a service charge on that court for it to be looked after, and it genuinely doesn't get looked after.
So has the problem been reported? Has it been reported?
Well, they've been round Bolton one. They've come round and asked us questions about it.
Right.
I reported it.
So it's been reported. There was another guy over there who's reported, but still nothing's been done.
No, nothing.
So how would you say it impacts you, either using the bin store or looking at the environment in and around the bin store and around the grounds?
Personally, to me, it doesn't affect me, but it affects my son. Now, my son's on end of life care. Now, he can't sit outside the front of the property. There's no access at the back that he can sit out, so he has to sit outside the front of the property. He can't sit outside the front of the property because of the amount of flies there is and how dirty it is. He's unsteady on his feet. He has to have walking sticks and aids. He can't really go out on his own anywhere.
And those flies, are they related to the rubbish, would you say?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's horrible. And not my other son, who looks after Stephen and goes around on a daily basis, he actually went out the back the other week, and I'm pretty sure Daryl's got pictures on his phone that he can show you. They've been throwing the dog waste in the bags against it, and I mean there was piles of it. He actually went out and cleaned it all up, and I mean cleaned it, bleached everything, picked it all up, cleaned it all. And we've reported that to the council, and they never came out and did anything. But it got to the point where you couldn't have your doors open at the back.
So that was dog waste. Dog waste that was.
Yeah, people walking the dogs and they just throw the bags. They just throw them against the wall at the back of the flats. It's disgusting.
Do you mean where the bin waste is, or where?
No, at the back here. So you walk across and you just throw it against the wall.
Just throw it against the wall.
Yeah, and he went out. There was loads of it. He went out and cleaned it all, and we reported that to council, and they did nothing about it.
And do children or younger people or vulnerable adults have to pass around that area?
Yeah.
So, would you? How would you say that would impact them as an environment, in terms of health or?
It affects my son. And he's vulnerable.
He's in like a hospital bed. He's in a hospital bed.
Right.
My brother on end of life care.
Right.
So he likes the back door open, especially in weather like this, and he can't because
because there's flies
poo
and
bags.
Yeah.
So he's limited on what he can do in his own home. It's a bit crazy, if you ask me.
That's awful.
I don't think so. Somebody that's on end of life care should be quite comfortable, especially with drug dealers, and we've got crackheads who live next door, and we're putting over, I think maybe over 150 complaints with video proof, picture proof. Nothing's been done. We've had phone calls saying we're on it, we're investigating, but yeah, absolutely nothing. It's coming to the point where I'm having to say something myself and putting myself in risk and my brother, and it shouldn't have to be like that, but that's what it's coming to.
I mean, nobody should have to endure that. So, have you experienced any health concerns because of your environment?
I've got PTSD. I'm a bit like head wobbling myself, but I can control it. I'm quite young, you know what I mean. I can do it. But my brother's mental health, I have to deal with that personally, which I shouldn't have to at the end of the day. But I'll take on his burdens and do everything I can. But yeah, the stuff is really hard and that. But I mean, if we got the help from the council or even just anybody, just some sort of support, I think my brother would be more happy and more relaxed, because we're trying to get out of this court now so we can see his rest of his time in a nicer place.
I mean, it couldn't be more it couldn't be more related when you talk about his environment and the fact that he can't go outside because it's full of flies.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the guys said that he's seen rats out there. Is that your experience?
Yeah, there's rats all in the bushes and stuff.
So there's rats in the bushes
everywhere.
That's why we moved their bins closer to the front door, because I was putting rubbish in the bins where the bins are, and there was a great big rat, and I said, no, I'm moving your bins closer. I'm not doing that. I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah. Right, well, firstly, thanks for being honest with us and for sharing that with us.
It's nice to speak about it, you know what I mean? It's somebody that actually sits there and listens and not tell us what we always want to hear.
The guy upstairs has got an issue with autism.
So I'll say it now, not long.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Genuine Futures family here in Russell Court in Farnworth, and with Norman. And with Norman, he's one of the residents here in Russell Court. Norman, you've seen us in the area just doing a survey, checking the area, seeing how the cleanliness. We're doing a public health and environmental project that we're working on. Just wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the area, the place where you live?
When we first moved in, we were told there was one or two problems, but Bolton told me we're going to sort it out. I had major problems with one of the neighbours. We actually finished up in court with him. The police took him to court, and then he was moved on. But we had 8 years of that. My main concern now is the fact that people in cars or riding bicycles are coming on night and day, dealing to certain flats on that side. Our side is quiet, the only problem I've got is rats in the garden. Yeah.
How often do you see rats around here?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
All the food shops on the front, and they throw the waste out. I mean, people do say that you're never more than 3 feet away from a rat. Well, they've been in my garden. I've got bait boxes down now. I don't see as many now, but every now and again I know they've been because of the droppings and what have you.
And is the landlord, are they doing the pest control in the area?
No, I've never seen one here.
So we have noticed that the bin store is overflowing there with
well, to be honest,
fly tipping waste. What do you see that as a problem around here?
Well, that'll bring the rats, especially the food waste. But to be honest, that side doesn't concern me. We have our own bins here, so it's not too bad. But the main concern, like I said, for me, is the rats.
The rats.
Early hours in the morning, you'll see them.
How does it impact your mental health and your well-being?
You'll like this one. I used to be a heavy goods driver. I used to go all over Europe, and coming back to Calais, I've had illegal immigrants in the back. I've thrown them out on my own. You don't get no support. Never had a problem. I've worked on doors. Never had a problem. I am now on antidepressants because of what happens on here.
Wow.
It's not a good place to live.
And if there's if there's things that you would like to see change, what changes would you like to see, Norman?
Well, property being better looked after. We were told that we were going to have new guttering on. Never happened. Bolton, the home as was. It's now Bolton 1. They keep making all these promises. Never happens. If I refer back to the trouble I had with the neighbour, we kept complaining, and my wife in the end said, well, what would you call minor? Because that's all they class it as, minor. She said, well, if you come at him with a machete, then we consider that as being serious. And that were her exact words. So that's what we're up against.
And Norman, just finally then, we see the block paving.
Yeah.
How often is this being cleaned?
Never.
Never been cleaned?
Never been cleaned.
Because it is quite unsightly around the area, isn't it?
Yeah. You asked the previous neighbour, man, that about bringing friends around and all that. We don't do that.
So if we could offer a solution, a service to jet wash the bin stores, jet wash the paths, keep the waste
To a
How do
minimum.
how do you think that would benefit you?
It
and the
would
rest of
benefit a lot. I mean, I look after my garden. When I was working, all I wanted when I sat in the truck driving was an house with a garden, because I lived in the truck.
Mm.
House with a garden, and that I could sit in the garden like today
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy life in my retirement.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happened.
You're not enjoying life in retirement.
No, I mean not with me.
Because where you live.
That's part of it, and my illnesses. I mean, everybody wants, and you can't be like this week, sitting in the garden, enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my whack, I just want to easy life now. But I don't get it. If I'd have known 9 years ago what it was like on here, I would never have come.
Wow.
Never.
Well, you're sharing the concerns of yourself and the rest of the residents here. We're grateful for you.
No problem.
For you taking part in this survey.
Yeah, I hope you can help us.
So I've been Sam, alongside Mike. Thank
Sam.
you, Norman.
No
Thank
problem.
you to the residents here, and we're hoping to put something together as a regular kind of maintenance.
It'd be brilliant if we could do that. Yeah, it's just hard living here because you're just waiting for the next thing to happen. I don't know if you heard the argument going up on.
Yeah, we have heard a few arguments, but yeah, thank you, Norman.
1 moment.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we're here at Russell Court in Farnworth, and we're here because we're concerned about environmental and health issues around the bin stores and the cleanliness of the properties, outside of the properties. So I've been talking to residents because we want to know how it impacts people. So I'm with a resident now, and can I ask you, how does the cleanliness of the bin store and the general state of the outside of this property, how does it impact you?
It impacts us in a way that we're paying a charge for maintenance. You don't get any help with that. You report items, nothing gets done. And it's not fair that those residents that are trying to keep clean and tidy aren't getting any support to have that happen. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And how does that impact you personally?
Well, you've got to look at the aspect of your mental health. It's not nice coming out and seeing rubbish, rats, people coming because they think, oh, well, it must be rough round here because it's not kept on top of. And then you've got the aspect of you can't keep your doors open because you're worried the rats are going to come in. You've reported it and nothing's getting done.
Yeah, and someone's mentioned before that they'd like to be able to come outside on a day like today, and sit out, but it's not something they can consider doing.
No,
because of the state of the outside environment.
Yeah.
In terms of the bin store, how many would you say there's adequate bin storage for the amount of houses that are here? Or do you find them overflowing often, or what would you?
Yeah, everybody uses everybody else's bins, and then when their bins are full, they think, sack it, we'll just put it on the floor. But the problem then being is Bolton at Home eventually will come. They'll move it all, but there's no consequences to actions. So you're fighting a losing battle because you're having these special days where the supply skips and whatnot, and within 2-3 weeks, it's you're back to where it is.
So it needs. Would you say it needs a different solution because it's always going to present itself as a problem?
They need to follow the policies and procedures which they've got in place, which states if there is a flight hit, it's investigated, and then if there's information within that rubbish, then that tenant has something happen. But nothing happens. Nothing. And they get away with it. time and time and time again.
So you've reported it and nothing's happened. You've reported it again, nothing's happened.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and that you know, so this is this resident isn't the only resident that said that. You know, we've spoken to somebody else and they said the same thing. They've reported things multiple times, and that the cleanliness of the environment outside impacts the people that they would invite to the home. They don't like. They feel a little bit of shame about inviting people to the home because of the state of the outside. But we'll keep knocking on doors. Thank you for talking to us.
But can I just state as well, they do have a fire policy, Bolton at Home, well, B1 Homes, that states if they've got a report of rubbish within a communal area, they have to act on it because it's classed as a fire health and safety risk. So they're not even following the health and safety risk aspect of anything. Sorry, I just got to add that.
Yeah, no, well, thanks for sharing that. We will continue to speak to people and just get people's opinion, and just so that we know that, you know, it's important for people to voice their opinions about what's happening, because the residents live here, and we're just trying to create a voice for them. Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for giving us your time.